everyone, this is Gene from NYC, and I'm back with another response and reaction to another Captain Marvel trailer. And of course, because I don't have any actual Captain Marvel stuff in my house because I don't support this version of the character, I'm going to film Major Kusanagi, an actual legitimate 90s female badass who can be totally unemotional and yet be completely cool. So anyway, I just wanted to be brief about this. There is a new TV spot apparently, which is a little different than the other trailers. I think it's about 30 some seconds long. It's not terribly long, but it's different in that we finally see Bree smile. There are several clips of her and Fury laughing in a plane, and she actually smiles. Who would have thought? So maybe they're finally listening, at least somewhat, to the criticisms about how the hero doesn't show any expressions but a blank one. Her expressions prior to this have just been, just more blank than stone. There is stone faced, and then there's Brie Larson. She's outdone stone faced, which actually is not appropriate if she's meant to be playing a stoic character. Stoic does not mean emotionless. It means in control of one's emotions and not overtly emotive. There is a difference. Anyhow, there were just a few parts of it that I wanted to respond to. In particular, the banter between her and Fury. And it's not just in this trailer, but in all the trailers, they have featured this banter between them. And I am so tired of the banter between them because the way the trailers portray it, it's incredibly forced. You need three things to make banter believable between fictional characters. You need, especially if it's going to be something that's voice acted or acted in any way, you need a chemistry between the actors, you need a history between the characters themselves, and you need a call and response. You need a back and forth. The trailers for Captain Marvel, when they feature the banter between Carol and Nick Fury, have none of these things. The lines from both Sam Jackson and Brie Larson come across as very stiff, as if they're just reading from a page. The point of good acting is to make you forget that the dialogue is just words on a page. It's supposed to come across as natural. And banter comes across as natural when the actors get along with each other, or at least they can pretend to get along with each other, when they have a chemistry. And when I say chemistry, I mean chemistry in a general sense. It doesn't necessarily mean a sexual or romantic one, but when they have a chemistry, when they get along, when there's a history between the characters that the fans know about, right? So they know how the characters should be responding to each other. And then when there's the call and response, the back and forth. These trailers have not shown that. They have especially lacked the back and forth. The only time they have shown the back and forth is twice. There is one which I think is the best example of the banter, as bad as it is overall. The best version of it is when she makes fun of him, when Captain Marvel makes fun of Fury for having logos for S.H.I.E.L.D., which is supposed to be a supposedly secret organization, and then he claps back by calling her an alien in a rubber suit. So I think that was featured in the second or third trailer, and then there's this newest TV spot where he actually initiates the banter, knocking and acting as if he's like knocking on her door and asking her why she's dressed for laser tag, and then her response is simply, "You have no clue, do you?" So again, that's not great, but at least we get the call and response, right? He starts it, she responds in kind. The other one over the shield hat, she starts it, he responds in kind. But overall, it has lacked those three elements: chemistry with the actors, history with the characters, and chemistry between the characters themselves, and the actual call and response. And when I think about how banter has been done in things such as Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour, when I look at anime and I think of the banter between characters such as the four main leads in Yu Yu Hakusho, or the banter between Roy and Hawkeye in Fullmetal Alchemist, or even the banter between Holo and Lawrence in Spice and Wolf, which is by no means an action series. It's actually the very opposite. The banter in those series, in those movies, in those anime series, even the banter between Motoko and Bato in its standalone complex, it works because it has those three elements. There's this sense of comfort. There's this sense of naturalness to it. It doesn't come across as forced. And when you have banter that comes across as very stiff, it's just not believable. So I just wanted to comment on the banter part. There's also one part where, well, actually, there's another part that I wanted to focus on, which is why do they keep focusing on Captain Marvel punching the old Skrull woman? I get it. She's a Skrull. She's in disguise. But I don't understand why these trailers, and I think every trailer has featured it, features this. It's not some sort of standout scene. I've watched videos, I've seen the trailers, I've even watched videos from people who are pro this movie, who love the trailers. I have not come across a one that praises that particular part of the trailer, that praises her just randomly punching an old lady in the face. Again, she's supposed to be a noble warrior hero. What noble warrior hero randomly punches old people in the face? I'm going to say it again. Starting a fight on a train is not heroic. That's just going to get people hurt. It's going to put people in danger. This was not some sort of standout cool scene that was widely received and liked, and then they're just putting it in everything. At least if it was a scene that was actually well liked, I could understand it. But it wasn't. Even videos and channels and content creators who like the trailers and who like the film haven't said anything especially positive about her punching an old woman in the face. So why they keep featuring this, I don't know. But anyway, there's another scene, a new scene actually, I should say, where I can't find my words. Where Captain Marvel is fighting against a Skrull who is undisguised. So the Skrull is actually green. They have the pointy ears, right? It looks like an alien, so you can tell it's a Skrull. So the Skrull, roars in her face, and then she roars back in its face. I don't know why she did that. I don't think it's meant to be a comedic moment, but again, this just shows how miscast Brie is for this. She does not have this commanding presence, and especially if she's going to roar back at this monster yelling in her face, you need a deep, commanding voice to make a scream or a roar sound convincing. She doesn't. Seriously, watch this if you haven't seen it already. She screams back at it like, "Rah!" Just like that, and then punches it in the face. I'm like, that's got to be the wackest roar, type of, war cry or yell I have ever heard. That doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. They really should have got her a voice coach and told her to pitch her voice down and to speak slower and to speak with more authority in her voice. Seriously, look at action heroes in any genre. If it's a female action hero, if it's an action hero in general, they will usually have a deeper voice because a deeper voice is intimidating. It commands respect. It has a little bit of fear. There's a little bit of edge to it. Right? There's a little bit of a warning, warning, warning type of thing going when a person speaks in a very authoritative tone with a deep voice. But especially for a woman, right? Think of Sarah Connor. Think of even Ripley, right? So Sigourney Weaver's voice isn't super deep, but her voice is deeper, right? When she's saying certain lines in the Alien film, because it's meant to be serious at that moment. Think of, say, even Ming-Na Wen when she voiced Mulan, right? Even she pitched her voice a bit lower because she's supposed to be this soldier, this warrior. Or think of her when she plays Agent May, right? She usually speaks in a deeper tone, because her voice naturally is not terribly deep, but even she speaks in a deeper tone as May, because deeper tones are just more authoritative. And then you look at, say, anime or video games. You look at Major Kusanagi, right? In English, voiced by Mary McGlynn, who is noted for her deep, husky voice. You look at Jennifer Hale, right? When she voiced Commander Shepard in Mass Effect, right? This deep, smoky, heavy contralto voice. In fact, her FemShep voice is the same exact voice she used to voice Captain Marvel in the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. So even the people who do the cartoons, when they were doing the voice casting, knew that if they were able to get Jennifer Hale, they needed her to do the FemShep voice, because the FemShep voice is deep and commanding. So again, if people making cartoons can realize this, that you need a strong, deep, authoritative voice, why in the world did Marvel cast a actress who has this high nasally voice, and then at least not give her coaching on how to lower her voice, or just lower her voice in post production, or give her any schooling about how to speak in a commanding, authoritative tone, even if your voice is kind of high. There are so many things that they could have done, that they should have done, that would have made this movie version of Carol Danvers more believable. And instead of actually investing and trying to make the character likable and interesting, they just decided to miscast an actress because she's friends with Jennifer Lawrence and she recently won an Oscar, and you think all of a sudden now she could be an action hero. Okay, being an action hero and being in a drama/thriller are two different things. She was miscast. Brie increasingly makes herself unlikable in her social medias with her post and her, in my opinion, blatant sexism, which I discussed in my nearly hour-long breakdown of the InStyle magazine article about her, where she was interviewed by Marvel editor and Marvel bigwig Sana Amanat. But anyway, I just wanted to just share my thoughts on this newest trailer. And the rest of the trailer itself is just, regular stuff. I'm guessing they were trying to make it a little more fun, a little more action-oriented. But again, I'm just wholly uninterested. Every time I see the trailers, I'm just reminded of how good it could have been, how bad it is, and how stuff like Ghost in the Shell was done a hell of a lot better. And that's it. This is great. This is awesome. Major Kusanagi is just an awesome character. Brie Larson, hell, even the comics version of Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel wishes she could be as awesome as Major Kusanagi. See, that's what happens when you just want to create a very cool and interesting character, right? Free of agenda. You just want to make this really cool, awesome character who goes on these really cool, awesome adventures, and have a weird philosophical bent between all the action. That's basically what Ghost in the Shell is. It's very action-oriented, very cyberpunk, as cyberpunk was understood in the 80s and the early 90s, but then has this very deep philosophical side that is sort of hidden in the violence. It's one of those things where it's like you come for the attractive lead female and you come for the fights, but you stay for the philosophy lesson. But anyway, that's just my take on it, which has gone on entirely too long, as it often does, because I am full of opinions. So anyway, have a good night. Bye.